How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel, Get Growing. Today we are going to be taking a tour of the garden and kind of going over the future plans for it, since I've just started the garden. So as we make our way back here, it is fresh in the morning, so everything is soaking wet with dew. Sorry if I just zoomed in on myself a little bit. So there it is. There is the garden as it is right now. So starting off, as you walk up to it, this is where the herbs are going to be on more than just thyme. That's all I have growing right now. The seedlings are inside for the basil, cilantro, rosemary, and mint. So those are sprouting as we speak. I got my tomatoes here. I had an issue with this one. As you can see, it is no longer here. It had a little bit of leaf rot due to a mistake of my own. So what did I do? I've been watering my tomatoes pretty much every day in an already excuse me, an already wet environment. So I live in Florida and it's been raining all week. And my dumbass has still been coming out here and watering, like not on the rainy days, but every day, not even checking the moisture of the soil, just watering. And that's the beginner gardener in me, because I should have known to let it dry out and let the plant tell me when it's thirsty rather than, you know, and the other way around. Sorry, I was just checking on my tomato. And so this tomato here is an experiment. I didn't do anything to the soil. I literally just planted the seedling and put some of that garden cloth and then some mulch. And as you can see, it is much smaller than that guy, which they got planted same day. So clearly you can see that my soil needs a little bit of amending. This, I have amended this little patch just to see how the okra does. This obviously is okra. I got 3 little seedlings. I may have transplanted them too early, but you know, it is what it is. And I'm probably gonna thin this one. I'm gonna let them both grow a little bit longer to see which ones look healthier before I pick which one I'm gonna get rid of, which we'll get into that later. And then for the last thing, I have the corn, and the corn is growing. I kind of screwed up. As you can see, when I initially planted it, I didn't know that corn was wind pollinated. So when I planted it just in a single row, it wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to pollinate very well after finding out. So I had to dig up quite a few of those seedlings and move them from that patch to over here. And then I planted some more seedlings to fill in the space, and I got 8 more in there that I'm going to plant. Once I till, I'm going to probably put them either here or there, just to make the row like a little thicker. And then here is my compost. I recommend everyone getting a little plastic bin, put some holes in the bottom, and start collecting your own compost. This will do wonders for your garden. It adds just natural nutrients back into your soil. And I'm gonna do a whole video on composting and get all in the nitty gritty of it, but I highly recommend that. All you need is a little plastic container and cut some holes in the bottom for drainage, and you're good to go. And I have it uncovered right now because it's been raining and moisture is good for compost. And it has good drainage, so I'm not worried there. And then here, I almost forgot about these. These are my them there taters. This one is going insane. It's growing about 1 inch every day. And yeah, that's a healthy sucker. And I got another one that has just sprouted. That one's not too far behind. And this just poked out of the soil this morning. And what's actually cool about these potatoes is they were just store-bought, like from a sack of potatoes that I let sit on the counter for too long, and they started to sprout. So I was like, huh. I cut like little sections where where I guess the spuds, is that what you call them? No, just the sprouts were, and I let that dry at the cut, and basically that becomes the potato seed. Plant that in about 4 inches of soil and cover it a little bit, and obviously water it and, you know, keep an eye on it and all that. And once it sprouts like that, as the green gets taller, once the green gets to a certain point, you fill up more soil, and all the green that's like underneath what you buried is going to become roots and then potatoes. So, little tip there. All right, so with the plans for the garden, the first thing I'm going to do is in 2 weeks, I'm going to have a tiller delivered, and I'm going to be tilling pretty much all of this area right here, all the way from where I screwed up with the corn, all the way straight line to the edge of here. So pretty much from here up to here, and all this is all gonna get tilled up for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, I need to loosen up the soil. The drainage is not that great. And also I figured mulching all of this, or not mulching, tilling all of this is going to break up all this grass and all the weeds and all that roots, all those root systems. It's going to chop it all up, and so it might, and more than likely I'm hoping it'll inhibit it from growing further, and it'll also allow it to kind of be an active compost, because once I till it, I'm going to let it sit for a little bit before I go crazy with any kind of planting. Now obviously you're going to be asking, what am I going to do with the tomato and the okra? They're small enough to where I should be able to pull them out of the ground, and that tomato is getting transplanted in there, which I'm going to make a video on transplanting, especially something like this, like I'm going from the ground to a raised bed while it's still small. So I feel like that would make for a good video. And also the okra, they're still basically seedlings. So I am going to take those out of the ground while I'm tilling, but I mean, if they don't survive their seedlings, I'll sprout more, because I kind of jumped the gun on putting those in the ground anyways. So yeah, so we'll just go from there, and also that'll give me a little bit more room to play around with, and get another like row or two of corn in that little bunch. And so that's pretty much the plan with the garden for the near future. And pretty much the goal is I want to have tomatoes here, okra and squash, probably my cherry tomatoes here. I don't know what I'm going to put in this area yet. I haven't decided. Because I got the squash, got the okra, cherry tomatoes, corn. We'll see. We'll see what I feel like planting. And so that is pretty much the garden area. There are a couple plants that I wanted to show you guys that are just growing here. One of them has been here since, I mean, this one's just growing naturally. It's a native grapevine in Florida, and this thing is taking off this year. I haven't really seen it take over the fence like this before. So I'm guessing everything's kind of happy. And so there's that one. And then if we go to the other side of the yard, there is, I don't know what kind of flower this is, but it is soon to actually start budding. This was just like a really small patch there in the middle when I first moved in. I've been here for about 2 years, and it's starting to spread. And it's actually, I mean, it's pleasing to the eye when it sprouts, or when the flowers bloom. And then over here is a fig tree rescue kind of deal. So this was, when I moved in, just a couple of these little twigs. No more. It was like 3 or 4 of these little twigs here. And nothing else was growing. And it didn't grow for about a year, because in this spot, if you look, my tripod doesn't get hung on it. If you look in this like empty spot here, where am I pointing there? There we go. So if you, that big empty spot there used to be a tree there, and it was pretty much robbing the fig of all the nutrients and everything, and the fig just wasn't going anywhere. So I chopped that tree and got rid of it, and then all of a sudden the fig started taking off. And this is the first time I've seen it with, I'm guessing those are fruits. Those are little baby fig fruits. So yeah, awesome. I've never even eaten a fig before, so that's kind of exciting. First fig I eat is growing in my own backyard. It's kind of cool. And so I'm gonna actually be keeping an eye on this tree and taking care of it. And so there's my shooting range back there. Feel a little 22 plinking every now and then. And then, yeah, there's the garden. And it's looking like the rain is over with now, thank God. So I'll be able to give my tomatoes a break from overwatering lately, see how they do. I might still not water, I'm not gonna water the corn today because it rained all night, or all day yesterday, so that'll be good for a day or two. But yeah, to recap, plans are to till up the ground in about 2 weeks once I get the tiller. And plans for future videos, I'm going to say we're definitely going to be checking on the seedlings in a few days, checking the status of those. And then transplanting the tomato into the raised bed. Possibly, depending on how my potatoes are looking, adding soil to those. Maybe doing a whole video on, oh yeah, the whole video on compost. I remember mentioning that. And yeah, anything else you guys can think of or want to see, leave a comment and let me know, and I'll be sure to make a video on it. So also remember to leave a like, subscribe, really helps my channel grow, and I want you guys to grow with me. So I'll see you guys on the next one.